Good morning, everyone. Come on in and stand up. We'll sing our call to worship. You have but one mission, and that's to live your life. You have but one mission, and that's all. No more fooling around, asking anyone's permission. Just ask your very heart and soul. I have but one mission, and that's to live my life. I have but one mission, and that's all. I'm tired of fooling around, asking everyone's permission. Just ask my very heart and soul. You have but one mission, and that's to live your life. You have but one mission, and that's all. No more fooling around, asking anyone's permission. Just ask your very heart and soul. Just ask your very heart and soul. Just ask your very heart and soul.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Libby, and this is my husband, Michael, and we're co-worship assistants. We've run two businesses together, so we just like to play tag, game follow each other around. Anyway, welcome to this beautiful morning and to Unity of Traverse City. How about some announcements?
All right, we have some announcements. And the first one, we're going to call Mary Ann up here. And Ann. And Jill. Wow. Anyone else?
Well, Ann's going to start here for us.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ann, and I've been vegan, plant-based, for about 25 years, and I'm just thrilled that Unity Church has a lot of history in the plant-based nutrition and wonderful things. So I'm very excited to welcome all of you today to our vegan potluck and our plant-based film, and thank you to everyone who participated by bringing a dish, and please join us afterwards. Thank you.
I also want to thank everyone for bringing something. It looks like an amazing meal, but I want to say one thing, and that is that with this meal, you can all become activists. This is all it takes. Just, you can be an activist for the animals, for the environment. You can follow in the footsteps of our founders, and you can do something good for your health. So come and join us and enjoy and feel good about the fact that you're being an activist today.
She's an excellent cook. And so is she.
And I just wanted to invite everyone after the potluck, if you'd like to stay, I hope you can stay for the Prayer for Compassion movie. It is a documentary that was created by a person who found his spiritual path through Unity. And it's about the common thread of compassion that runs through all the world's religions. So after the potluck, please feel free to come back in and enjoy that movie with us, and thank you.
Well, on the topic of food, we have the Father Fred Food Drive. I don't believe it's vegan, not according to what's up here. That begins actually next Sunday, the whole month of February. That is our Unity Food Drive. So please feel free to contribute to that. But Also, we're going to need some volunteers, and some of you have volunteered in the past, and some of you perhaps are thinking that you would like to give it a try for the first time. It's just a 2-hour shift, and all you have to do is inform all the people. I better find out what store it's at. Tom's Grocery Store in East Bay. And as people are coming in to do their shopping, you are there to simply inform them about the Father Fred food drive and collect donations. And as the data suggests, 30% more comes when people are actually in person as opposed to just having information on a table. So there is a sign-up sheet, and there's a question from the audience.
Besides all that, it's really fun. So,
Yeah.
Because you meet all kinds of neat people, there's a lot of good interaction. It's really a nice time to spread your light around and, make a positive impact on people coming in the store.
It is a great deal of fun, but anybody that doesn't wear warm clothes.
Yeah.
Good point.
Good warm boots.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, this group does like to have fun. All right, so that's going to take place on February 22nd. I didn't mention that. 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. Again, it's just a 2-hour shift, and we'll look forward to having anyone who wants to do this, just sign up in the hall. There's a clipboard. Nominating committee, we want to give thanks to Sharon Chappelle. Not here. Oh yeah, okay. And you had a group of how many people were there? 2 or 3? Okay, and they were instrumental in selecting people who are going to run this year for the Unity Board, and we need someone to take on that responsibility for the next year. Predominantly, it's something you do in the fall and the winter. You're selecting individuals who you feel and meet the qualifications as far as membership to serve on our board. And I believe it's 2 years, or could it be 3? 2, okay. And here's one board member, and there are a number out here. So if you have questions about just being on the nominating committee, but also possibly might have an interest in serving on the board, from what I understand, it too is a lot of fun. So, and then our prayer chaplains have something to say, or at least Bob and Jill. Where did she go? Oh, there you are.
Remember, we were going to do this together. You can start.
All right. Well, I'm going to say that the prayer chaplains are looking to increase in numbers, and those of you that have an interest in serving through prayer, we're going to have an informational meeting, and Bob knows the day.
It is a week from today.
A week from today.
After the service.
Yes. And so come and ask, that doesn't mean that you're committed. It's just if you have questions and want to know what being a prayer chaplain is all about, please come and talk to us. If you have it, yeah.
One of the first volunteer experiences I've had was as a prayer chaplain. And I can tell you it is one of the most heartwarming, feeding, and spiritual gifts that we can give to people in this congregation. People usually come to prayer chaplains when they have some difficulty in their life. They look to us for support. They look for us for monthly calls that we make, and we're available to the entire congregation anytime, and sometimes we even participate in the service. We've done that in the past. So if you have any inclination whatsoever to think this might be a way you would like to serve this ministry, it's an outstanding opportunity and a outstanding experience. So I would invite everybody who even has, as Jill said, an inkling of interest to stop by next week and just get some information about what it is, what it's about, and how you can become a member of it. So thank you much.
And we can have fun too.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more. Oh, there's more. There's your man sitting on the piano stool that did that. Rollin, that's fabulous. A lot of talent around here. Thank you, Rollin. Isn't that great? I think, what do you think? Should we put it on the website? Yes. I think we should. I think that's the game plan. So we'll have all the board members come up. We have a board few minutes. And that was one of them. We want to kind of let you know, what have you guys been doing back there in that little room once a month on Sundays? It's very exciting. And, you know, some things we start projects and it takes them a number of months to be completed because it's a process, right? And today we'd like to share with you just some of those things that we're up to. And you want to go first?
Sure. Okay. My part is I have my little cheat sheet here. Okay, my part is, Michael talked about the Father Fred food drive, so I want to add to that. We decided that we are going to participate. Father Fred has this event called Can Structure. And so organizations and businesses and groups around town, they do their food drive, and then they build some kind of a structure out of it, a igloo or a castle or whatever their imagination can come up with. So we're going to do that. And then we put our name on it, and then we put Father Fred's name on it, and it promotes Father Fred, and it promotes us. So the more products we have, the better structure we can make. So please, please bring in lots of stuff. So cans and boxes and all kinds of things, so we can build a really cool thing. And if any of you are, novice architects, we need your services, okay? So we want to build this really cool structure that we can get on their website and get on our website, okay? So that's one thing. The next thing is that at our board meeting last week, the nominating committee, Sharon Chappelle and the committee, presented the board candidates for this year, and the board decided to accept them. So our board candidates for this year are Vicki Green and Ann Walker over there. Yes. So we will be getting you their bios and their pictures and all that stuff that they might not really want to be sharing all that, but we're going to get it to you anyway. And come to our meeting. Somebody else is probably going to talk about that. Come to our meeting and vote for our candidates. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is yesterday the Education Committee had a very long meeting, and Vicki is the chair of that committee. She did an awesome job, and she had us all organized, and Bob came, and Vicki had a bunch of handouts, and Bob had a bunch of handouts, and we were there for like 5 hours. And so, yeah, and Jill provided lunch for us, another wonderful vegan meal that Jill did for us back there. So anyway, we talked about all kinds of activities that we want and educational opportunities that we want to do this year, but we also want to hear from you guys. So if you guys have any ideas at all that you would like to see happen this year, please get a hold of somebody in the Education Committee. So it's Vicki, Jill, Ann, myself, or Bob, and give us your ideas, because we would really like to incorporate those into our calendar. Okay?
And hold Ann in prayer. Ann is recovering from pneumonia. Michael and I are filling in for her this morning. Yeah, Ann Reed, who's also on the board. So you want to go next?
Sure. I just have a couple of quick things. We would like to, if you've noticed, our front and back doors aren't in great condition, and so we would like to replace them. But we need someone who would be willing to do a little research and look into different options for us and costs and so on, and who might be able to do that for us. So if you're interested in that and giving back in that way, just let one of us know. And then the second thing is that we are in the process of purchasing captioning for our captioning for our screens. It's not closed captioning, sorry, it was closed captioning for our screens. We're in the process of, we've already fundraised for it, so we have the funds. We just are researching and getting questions answered before we make the purchase. So just to let you know, that's in the process.
And I do hope you like the video, because it is already on the website. And it is already on our YouTube channel. When you go onto our YouTube channel, it automatically starts playing, so I hope you approve of that. As for the board nominees, I hope that you are going to be attending our annual membership meeting. It is going to be Sunday, February 23rd. After that service that day, there's going to be the soup and bread potluck following service. And then all of voting members, we ask that you come. We need a voting quorum. I don't know how many people that is, but if you are a voting member, please, please, please come to that service and to the meeting. We'll be discussing our very thrilling annual budget, and you'll hear lots of information that's exciting about our, about all of our, all of our rules and everything. It's so much fun. Yeah. And, but we'll make it so much fun. We'll be re-electing a couple board members. They're looking to re-elect Mary Ann and also Molly, and then Vicki and Ann Walker. And so that will be very exciting. And really want you to come. And I also wanted to mention that we're still working really hard on our Facebook page. Bob and I try to keep that going. I ask that you please like and share any posts and comment on them. I noticed that Ann Walker's been very active on there. Thank you very much for that. Any likes, shares, comments really helps to increase our visibility on there so that more people can see what we're doing and hopefully get them interested. I think that's all I have.
Oh, okay. One more thing. The video that we all just watched, we are going to enter that into a contest at Unity Worldwide Headquarters, and the winner of the contest gets $500. So, and I think our video is pretty great, so we might have a good chance. Okay.
Thank you. It means he's asking for more.
He's already been paid for that.
So last but not least, you know, we have all these little fundraisers that we're doing, which are really important, and we usually have a specific purpose in mind. But we also have this thing called the general fund. And in the last couple of years, we've put out a little more money on purpose. So we have a spiritual coordinator and some other things that we've done here, and we want to keep the funds at the church going. I'm the worst person in the world to talk about funding, but anyway, that's what keeps us going, right? So what we want, we've come up with some ideas as a board, some ideas of things that could be fun ways to raise money for our church, and we thought of an online auction, which would require somebody skilled to keep that going on the website, but Meg has agreed to do a goddess workshop. I've agreed to do an Oh My Aching Back workshop. And everything that would come in for these would go to our general fund, and a silent auction that we could have here in an in-person auction. You know, some nice items in the back, and we'd have something going on in here. A Easter basket. Remember we used to do the big Easter basket things? We thought, yeah, let's revive that for this year. So we are brainstorming, but we need you, and we want you to brainstorm too. That's the beautiful part of having a group. Everybody's got great ideas. So I think we have sheets in the hall, right, Bob? Of course they will. And if you want to just jot down some ideas, you can. If you want to text or email something in to us, we'd all love that. So start thinking about what are some other fun, but not low intensity in terms of effort to get ready, ways to raise money for our general fund so we can keep this really flourishing place going. Sound like a plan? All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
And if you'd like to stand, we'll sing a congregational song. God and me can do anything. Today I choose abundance and universal good. Everything unfolds for me exactly as it should. God in me can do anything, myself I know not how. God in me can do anything, and I accept it now. Today I choose forgiveness and let my judgment go. The Christ in me loves everything and everyone I know. God in me can do anything, myself I know not how. God in me can do anything, and I accept it now. Today
things we're kind of excited about talking about fundraising is, we've already talked to Rowdy about that, it's having a screen on the back so that the worship team and the music team can see the words too. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? Yeah. Well, let's start this morning with a prayer, as we usually do. So I invite you to be still and close your eyes and feel the energy in this room. Feel the loving spirits, loving beings around. If you ever knew the story of Anne of Green Gables, she always said, the character always said, every day is fresh. And in our hymn, God in me can do anything. Each morning, a new beginning. Each day is fresh. Here I am, Spirit, open and receptive to the events, the learnings, the messages of this day. I step forward to participate fully each and every step of my way. And in the Christ consciousness I pray, hail to the morning, gift of this new day. Please say with me, hail to the morning, the gift of this new day. And so it is. Amen. Statement.
Let's affirm together our statement of unity. It's on the boards together. God's gentle, powerful presence comforts me and strengthens me.
This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. This is my prayer, O God of all Earth's kingdoms. Thy kingdom come, on earth thy will be done. Let Christ be lifted up till all men serve him, and hearts united learn to live as one. Oh, hear my prayer, thou God of all the nations. Myself I give thee, let thy will be done.
And let's take this time now, that special time of our service, for meditation. So I invite you to become comfortable in your seats. And if you can, let your feet ground to the earth. Feel the energy of your heart. And begin to lift the heart space and feel the touch of the life breath. And then just sink into the silence and just be. Just be. I connect with my life breath and sense and feel and know that God is. Feel that in the quiet. I watch what moves me in and through me. I look inside to see what surfaces and acknowledge the power of being still with God. I affirm life in the stillness. Might I affirm that in this moment I can let go of all negative images, unhealthy beliefs, and any destructive cellular memories that are getting in the way of healing my mind body. And whatever my healing or balancing need might be this morning, I bring it forth by filling myself up with the love, the light, and the life of Spirit. And affirm well that healing might exceed in my body and my mind 100 times or more, because God is here. And when I can't find my way, and when I do not know which way to go, I just open my heart to possibilities and let go. Do that in the silence. Practice the art of just letting go. I release, I let go, I let God. And when I feel hurt and do not know just how to respond, I just need to listen. I remember God is here. So many ways to respond. I could choose words or behaviors, or I could just silently walk on. I could look up and move beyond. Whatever I'm feeling in this moment, feel it in the quiet. And when those times come when I might feel frozen by fear, I just breathe deeply, and I remember that in my vulnerability is my strength, that the Christ consciousness within calms me and shows me the way. It shows me my inner strength. And when I trust in this knowing, I'll know God is here always. The great poet Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters." So when I'm in grief and I hold the loving hands of Spirit and reach out to those around me, I can drink in their loving kindness and their compassion to support me. And through the power of connecting with my Christ consciousness this morning, my God space, I can come to know I am blessed with unlimited potential, the power and the willingness to receive what I need, and the power to give and share with others when they are in need. And as we walk this healing path together, may we always remember God is there. We just have to believe. Feel that in the quiet. Just believe. And so it is. Amen.
Turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. It is not dying. It is not dying. Lay down all thoughts, surrender to the void. It is shining. It is shining. Yet you may see the meaning of within. It is being, it is being. Love is all and love is everyone. It is knowing, it is knowing. And ignorance and hate may mourn the dead. It is believing, it is believing. But listen to the color of your dreams. It is not leaving, it is not leaving. So play the game existence to the end of the beginning, of the beginning, of the beginning, of the beginning. Yeah, I might need that. Yes, thank you. Thank you, music team, this morning. And we're sending some love to Carol, who was feeling a little under the weather this morning. Turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. Lay down all thoughts, surrender to the void. If you're not familiar with that song, it is a Beatles song. Some of you are. It is called Tomorrow Never Knows, and it's an arrangement that I did years ago, and it's on, we were just talking about that this morning, Gordon. It's on my record, The Bridge, and it changes everything when it's slowed down and you can hear what's happening in there. And that's what we're talking about this morning, is slowing down so that we can hear. Yes, there's a lot happening. Deep breath, everybody. Yeah. And we're talking about possibility, choosing possibility. And I know that our tendency as humans, when things change in big ways that we're not used to, or big ways that we saw coming, or that we've been resisting, that we've been railing against, that we've been doing whatever it is we need to do. The truth is, we still live in possibility. And the only constant in life is change. That's what we know to be so. If you think about 100 or so years ago, there weren't too many people that thought it was possible that would be flying in airplanes around the world. But somebody did. Thank you. I called Cherry County Airport to Cherry Capital City Airport to make sure that happened. And not too long ago, it was thought impossible that women and people of color would ever get the right to vote. But many people did say it was possible. You know, I could give you a ton of examples of things that were seemed to be impossible that were actually not. Why? Because we live in a universe of infinite possibility. And all it takes is for one person to be open and quieted down and stilled enough to hear what Spirit is doing for all of us. And I use the word "for" specifically, because we live in that element of God, of absolute potential, and at the same time, this thing that created all, that created planets, needs us in form. This is the iteration that we are in right now, that we know in time and space as human beings, is that we are here in this form with access to an infinite intelligence and wisdom that needs us in this form to express itself in this time and space iteration. So what that means is we have been given the capacity to tap into that infinite potential. We have also been given the capacity to say, no, not today, I don't want to do it. That's called free will. If you think about infinite possibility and the billions of people on this planet, the unique iterations of that one presence and power that we are, each one of us has preferences, and each one of us has an inner drive about which possibilities we choose. And through our lifetimes, we can go with the flow in that and say, I'm going to be curious about that. Wow, what's happening? And honestly, you know that we all come into the world with that wonder and curiosity. How does this work? These colors and these lights and these sounds and these smells and these tastes and these touches and these feelings and all of that coming on, we come in with this open sense that everything is working in our favor, because it is. And along the way, we get taught that, maybe not so much. Maybe that's not for you to do. Well, maybe you're supposed to be this because your father was this and his father was that and his father was that and his father was... That's just the family tradition. And now all of a sudden, this is the way it is. And our sense of wonder and possibility begins to shrink until we are open, or we get the nudges enough that we start paying attention to just say, well, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to do what my father did and his father did and his father did, et cetera, right? And we begin to find our way back to, well, what if? What if? And then we find our way into a philosophy and a teaching that says, yes, what if everything is possible? And we not only say it, but we study it and we practice it. And so in this sense of this thing of infinite possibility, we begin to experiment. And we begin to try it out. And we begin to say, well, I wonder if this is really true. And there is that thing within us that knows that it is. It's not that we're learning something new or that we're learning how to recognize possibility. It's that we are remembering how to do it. We are remembering, or we are being shown just in this last week. As I said, 100 years ago, we didn't know or believe we could fly. In 50 years, women didn't know we could vote, and et cetera, et cetera. We don't know what's possible except that everything is possible. And a week ago, we didn't know it was possible for an ordained woman of God to speak the truth of compassion, wholeness, unity, mercy. Everything that I know, probably everybody in this room was taught as a child. And we were reminded with grace and with dignity and with courage and with confidence and with kindness that all of the opposites of those things were so eloquently lifted into the light to be healed. And the very fact that the pushback has been so discouraging is the very point that was being made. If we think about our own experience, my own experience in New Thought, in Unity, in Science of Mind, in consciousness studies, in metaphysics, and quantum physics, and all of the work that we have been doing, and the people before us, and those on whose shoulders we stand now, all of the ministers and the leaders and the teachers, the Fillmores in Unity, Ernest Holmes in Science of Mind, Emma Curtis Hopkins in Divine Science. We stand on the shoulders of those people who went into the field of infinite possibility and said, yes, we can bring this around, and we must if we're going to survive. We have been praying and doing spiritual mind treatment and affirmative prayer. I think you'll agree with me. We've been doing this for over 100 years and not longer to bring the highest and best to humankind. And I think we did our job. And you look at me like, well, how is that possible? Because everything looks chaotic and scary and all that. Because the shadow is being brought into the light. I know this to be so. I have my moments. Honestly, I am still human. Believe it or not. That I get a little glimpse of the news and I hear what's going on, I see what's happening. It disheartens me to no end. But I believe so very strongly in the fact that the light is bringing the darkness up to be healed. We have been doing this work, folks, and it is messy right now. And it can be frightening. And the thing is, the work that we do in the field of infinite possibility is we know that when we continue to do this work, we have brought the possibility into probability. And when we continue to keep doing the work, we bring it into predictability, meaning it is repeatable. That is the basic tenets of Christian mental science. Emma Curtis Hopkins. The law of mind action. We have access to it. We've been using it. We keep using it. It is called religious science because it is a process that we do in affirmative prayer that is repeatable. Meaning, when we keep our attention on the good, when we keep our attention on the possibility of good, when we keep our attention that this is a loving universe, when we keep our attention that God is in our favor, Spirit is in our favor, and I'm not talking about an us versus them in our favor, I'm talking about everybody. When we realize it and we use it constructively in the direction of compassion and peace and mercy and hope and justice. It may not look today like we are making progress, but I absolutely believe we are. And this is not the first time in history. It just happens to be the first time in our history where we are experiencing something of this magnitude, or that's how it feels. That's how it looks, and it really is. I am disheartened when I hear that all of the federal websites that Spanish language has been removed from every federal website. When diversity and equity and inclusiveness programs have been ended. That in federal buildings, the rainbow flag and Black Lives Matter flags have been taken down. It breaks my heart. And as gut-wrenching and as grief-inducing as that is, all the work that we have done and we keep doing has to continue. It is important that we allow ourselves to grieve, to be angry, to do all of those things, to let the humanness come out. But we can do it with kindness and compassion. We can do it to the best of our ability. And most of the time that might mean just like, I need to take a breath and shut my mouth. In the land of possibility, we can do that with intention. To set the intention to say, no matter what, I am going to be kind. I'm not going to let myself get beat up. I'm going to hold healthy boundaries. I'm going to speak my truth, and that is where we do our work as well. I have a prayer partner, a minister, who is in Southern Nevada and is an interim minister for Center for Spiritual Living in Bakersfield, California. Lots of agricultural workers there. Lots of migrant workers there. And we had our prayer session yesterday, and she shared with me, she said, I went through this little thing a couple of days ago. She said, when I was hearing things and hearing things and hearing things, and she said, and I woke up in that sense of abject terror, and then I got mad. I got angry. And she said, I'm not going to allow this to take my joy. I'm not going to allow this to take my power. I'm not going to allow this to take who I am as an expression of God. And she has a long history as being a journalist and some other things. And she went into prayer. She took it into prayer first, and she went into the realm of possibility and said, what is mine to do? And through her meditation, something came through that said all the tools that she has at her disposal right now, all of her skills, all of her personal assets, skills, talents, all of those things, expertise. And she said, I'm going to start doing some investigation of my own, some investigative journalist, because I'm hearing stories. And I'm going to go talk to the people, and I'm going to put it on my blog. One person doing one thing that they know what to do with what they have from where they are right now. And those of you in the prosperity class, you know what I'm talking about, because that's what we're talking about right now. This is not a stepping up and saying, oh my God, I've got to figure all this out and I've got to do all these thousands of things. It's no, what can you do with what you have from where you are right this minute? And tapping into the field of possibility, you will find everything that you need in the moment to do what is yours, specifically, uniquely yours to do. I know when I was here a couple of weeks ago, I talked about that, and I was in the same place. There was a day last week where I woke up just grieving. But I was also scared, and then I realized that scared, that thing is like, okay, then I got angry. But I found that power that said, no one is going to take my joy. No one is going to take my wisdom or experience or my gifts that I came into this world with from the same Creator that everyone else did. But I'm also not going to be silent. I'm not going to be complicit in that, contributing to. And I'll tell you right now that one of the places that I have been challenged with for a number of years with this is with my family. My work is to not shrink into the role that I took on when I was a kid that said, just shh, be quiet. We don't want to know what you think, especially if you don't agree with us. But that is my work, solely my work, to go into meditation, to go into the realm of possibility and say, what can I say? How do I say it? And every time I have this conversation in my head, it goes right back to this place that says, I am a child of God too. I don't need to get in anybody's face. I'm not going to shake a false theology or a hypocritical theology around. The truth is, my life, I was called to be a minister. I was called to be a musician. I was called to combine the two things. My work is to bring that into the world in ways that help you, I hope, inspire you, lift you up, comfort you, motivate you to find out what your thing. You do you. My job is to help you find that. And when you forget it, my job is to remind you of who you are. Just like everyone in this room, everybody is to remind each other who we are. Unapologetically. One of the tools that we're working with, again, in the prosperity class is asking ourselves the question, if we go into the realm of infinite possibility, we stay with the question, what would I love? Not, how can I do this? What would I love? I would love to see a world that works for everybody. What would I love? I would love to know what my role is as a part of that. I'm not going to get all the whole enchilada all at once. I'm going to get the next step. What would I love? Sometimes my prayer is I would love to have the courage to follow that step. What would I love? Because love is the most powerful energy on the planet, in the universe. And when we stay in that place, grounded in the unconditional love of Spirit, when we practice trusting in the unconditional love of Spirit, trusting that it is always there, we are never separate from it, that we can look at ourselves and say, yeah, I am a part of that. I am an expression of that. Then it is easy to step back from the woundedness. We can recognize it without contributing to it. Hang on just a second. It's okay to take a deep breath. Ernest Holmes says, when you say all things are possible, you're affirming that the power which created the planets is now operating in your affairs, in and through everything you do. Know that you believe. Say that you believe. Affirm that you believe, and deny everything which contradicts that true belief. We use affirmations and denials in this practice. And what I mean by denials is not saying, oh, that's not happening. The denial is, this thing that's happening, I deny it to have power over me. I deny fear and hatred and intentional divisiveness and intentional fear-mongering to have any power over who I am. My power of love is greater. That thing that we all live under and a part of, the only difference is we recognize it is a power for good. And that everything else that doesn't look like that is coming from a deep, deep wound and a belief in separation from it. That thing that we name evil is a specific result of a deep internal belief that somehow we don't belong. And when we feel like we don't belong and we're not getting our needs met, boy, we're going to try to get it from everything and everyone around us, no matter what. So, how do we do this? We breathe. We allow ourselves to feel. And we believe that there is possibility. We believe in the possibility that we can, and we are shifting this. I do believe we are, and it is just going to be a little, maybe a lot, painful and messy and ugly, but I refuse to give up hope. And I refuse to give up my faith in the possibility that we can and we are changing humanity. Albert Einstein said there are two ways to live your life. One is though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. And I invite you to join me in doing the latter. thank you for being here today. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Kit. When the darkness seems to surround us, all we have to do is look within, and there's the light. Well, now is the time to lighten your pocketbook. It's simply a time to share the gift of who we are. We share ourselves all the time, and of course, being here and feeling the joy, the love, and the fun that comes when we gather together. So we want it to continue, and we want it to grow. Just as Kit said, we're going to stay in and maintain the hope that all will be greater than what we see right now, because we envision all the good that's out there, all the good that's here. So let's affirm together, as you're holding on to your gift today, our prosperity blessing. Together, through the conscious choices that I make, I open doors to possibility for prosperity.
Stay awake and pay attention. Hold your thoughts in suspension. Do you know you're already free? Give and take, flow and tension, yin and yang, soul's extension. Do you know you're already free? You're already free. It's who you are. The good life is waiting on you. You're already free. The door's ajar. Are you gonna walk through? Here's your break. Defy convention. Trust your heart's comprehension. 'Cause it knows you're already free. What's at stake? Your good intentions. It's your choice. Did I mention you are already free? You're already free. It's who you are. The good life is waiting on you. You're already free. The door's ajar. Are you gonna walk through? walk through. Stay awake and pay attention. And you just might achieve ascension if you know you're already free. Do you know you're already free? Do you know you're already free? Already free.
Thank you, Kit, Meg, the boys in the band, Rowdy up in the booth, and all of you for being here. It's time to gather up in a circle. Looks like it's going to be a big one. And again, if there's anyone here for the first time, we know that, like the rest of us, you found your way here by divine intervention, or perhaps it's divine guidance. Remember, after we conclude our time here, fellowship and that wonderful meal awaits you at the other end, and then the movie. And as you're out and about this week in the month of February, remember to buy a few extra things when you're shopping for groceries so we can have a terrific, what's going to be an architectural masterpiece, yeah. And again, thanks for that great video, Roland. And if you have a concern, a worry, need someone to talk to, our chaplains are here, one in this part of the building and one in the hallway. So right now, let's turn your concerns, your worries, and your hopes and your dreams over to the Creator as you perhaps name someone, a group, a country, all those in need of our heartfelt prayers and thoughts of encouragement and love around the world.
And if there's someone special in your life that you're thinking of this day, or a group of people, an animal, the earth, feel free to say their names into the circle. Saying the name is affirming and sending a loving blessing. Please do. Carol and Anne. And might we add all those who are suffering anywhere in this world today, hold them in our hearts, and might we affirm together our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.